important reason for automation is to deliver, in the mobile network case, these guys, network slices, which will ultimately deliver the services to those mission critical, business critical, connected cars, the Industry 4.0 use cases, and the remote healthcare, robotic factories, etc. Now, keeping all of that in mind, MYCOM OSI automation vision actually is very clearly divided into 6 steps. So we envision that if you were to reach your end goal of an automatically operating network, which we call zero trust management, most of you know this, or a dark operations center, you need to start the journey through these 6 steps. First and foremost being, there are a number of data points, billions of data points which the network generates, and data which needs to be manipulated and converted into information that then can be automated so that you can step by step get to the point where you will run an autonomous network. Now, let me just quickly cover these steps. So, consolidation of these data points, they come from the IT network, the mobile network, the fixed broadband network, the service data points. They all need to be put together. We know they are performance information or service quality information or fault information. They need to be stacked. They need to be integrated so that then at number 2, you can run what Mo was explaining, those rule-based automation. Now, that's a little bit in the past, because if this happens in the network, this is the action you need to take. Or if this is coming through the network, this is what you do not need to do. So now that is also an essential. You stack your performance, fault, service quality, run your algorithms or your rule-based automation through that stack, because then only you come to the very critical stage of deconstructing the silos. So it's not only about consolidating the information coming from the networks, it's also the people who are using that information. These are distinct teams, the IT team, the network team, the planning, and the operations team. How do you get these people to use the tools together? How do you make sure that those processes that they're following are automated? So at that step, where you deconstruct the operational silos, you make sure the teams are working in tandem, are correlating the information coming across these functions. You then get into the step of cloudifying your software. So cloud is important at this step because it increases the performance, the reliability, and the overall efficiency, not to forget the elements of automation and AI/ML. So that's how we visualize that by introducing AI/ML over a public cloud, you introduce higher efficiency. Then your operations are ready to start remediating. So you've identified the problems, predicted the problems, and now you start remediating or orchestrating for the complete closed loop. So assurance, along with orchestration, sits at the center of this whole process of automating or making your entire network autonomous. How does AWS help us in this process? So AWS, as a partner which provides the public cloud on which our applications sit or have been ported to, as I said before, brings in a number of enhancements to our product and capabilities. So along with that comes the use of TMF APIs. So between our stack that I mentioned, the PM, FM, SQM layers, how do you correlate information? How do you exchange the information between those layers? TMF APIs is what we use. So what you see there is a combination of the use of the public cloud from AWS, the data lake that it provides, which more referred to as Telco Lake, along with the AI/ML capabilities, which the cloud provides us, which AWS provides us. And then we, of course, convert that into use cases using our experience and knowledge and define what we now call as automation solutions. So 4 key things here. Auto-correlation of data coming from various distinct sources, automating the trouble ticketing process, automating the anomaly KPI detection, anomaly detection of KPIs, and finally, the automation of SLAs or the visibility of SLA. So these are the 4 key things that we have been able to establish with the use of the capabilities coming from AWS. And at this point, I would like to mention some of the services that we have used for this. We use ROSA, which is Red Hat OpenShift for AWS. We also use Helm, which is a package manager. We also use a service called EKS, which is essentially an orchestration of containers provided by AWS. It's Elastic Kubernetes service. Then for the AIOps part, we utilize Amazon SageMaker, and we also use what they call the Telco Lake or the simple storage service called S3. So that's all coming from AWS. Now, how do we piece these things together to build our solutions? One last slide I have here is, the 3 parties are important to get to your ultimate end goal of that zero touch, the automated network or the autonomous network. Your data points from the operator are critical, because as many as you can get from the network, from the services, from the IT teams, the more you feed, the better your AI model becomes, the more refined it becomes. So that is very critical. Collect all your data points coming from the source. Then the AWS component here, which is the Telco Lake with its AI ML stack. And then on top of that is the expertise provided by a vendor like us, along with the normalization of data and conversion of that, manipulation of that information into use cases, or what we now call automation solutions. Okay, so this is not theory, because we have implemented all of that. And this is a quick example of a very recent exercise we did at an operator, with a very large operator with over 80 million subscribers, who had a tall order of, who still has a tall order of making their entire NOC SOC autonomous. So we are in that journey with that operator, along with AWS, ensuring that we get them to that endpoint.